is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Fulton Street Beats. It's good to see you again, and we got a little subject today we're going to be discussing, and the purpose of this video is not to bash any guitars or bash anybody's guitars, but to maybe shed a little light on the subject that sometimes people don't like to talk about, or at least talk about in a kind way. Now, what gave me the idea to do this video was I was just watching Leo and Dan Ryan's channel, and if you haven't checked out their channel, I suggest you do so. There are a couple of fellas who really enjoy guitars, and it's an enjoyment to watch them get these guitars, budget guitars, and test them, play them, and give their honest opinions. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, an honest opinion. Now, a lot of you out there expect that if somebody gets something and they give you their opinion on it, that if you buy one, you're going to have the same opinion, and when you don't, you're disappointed, or you're mad at them because, well, you put your money down based on their review. Please don't do that. You see, what they got and what I got and what Joe Blow from Kokomo gets may not be what you get, because things are made differently all the time, and that happens, unfortunately. But however, there should be some kind of at least middle ground of quality control, we would hope, right? So that's why today's topic is going to be about Firefly guitars and their quality control. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about their customer service also. So if you guys have followed this channel for any amount of time, you'll know that, well, I'm a drummer, and I kind of eased my way into guitars, and I really enjoy them. I found that it was very zenful, and I build custom drums. And I started dabbling in kit guitars and building guitars, and I found, of course, got an aptitude for it because I'm used to working with things like that in that nature. So I enjoy setting them up. I enjoy building them. I enjoy modifying them. I enjoy making them the best that they can be. So sometimes I'm a little biased when I order a guitar, and it's not quite right. And that's because I have the know-how and the aptitude and means to fix or upgrade components or what have you. But everybody's not like that. And a lot of people lay down their hard-earned money for an instrument, and they expect it to play for them, and that is understandable, totally 100%. So sometimes I even realize I come off a bit wrong by saying, hey, what's the big deal? Well, I lose myself because I forget that, well, people might expect more than me, and that's human nature, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. So a lot of times people will say, well, what do you expect? It's a $200 guitar. Well, $200 to one person might be like $1,000 to another person. It's all about your perspective and, well, what's your income and what are your priorities? So that's not a good argument. That's not a good argument to take or have, because hard-earned money is hard-earned money. Your perception of money and how you live might be different than your neighbor's. So we expect things to be as good as they can be for the money. And I do understand that. There is points where sometimes I'll get a guitar and go, how did they do this for that much money? And that happens quite a lot, although it's starting to go the other way. So we're going to use my Firefly, my latest Firefly purchase, as an example today. And if you guys watch the unboxing of that, you'll know that it was outstanding. And I actually thought it had a blemish on it, and it didn't. So this beautiful beast of an SG style guitar with the gold hardware, and I've done nothing to this, by the way. Not one thing. This is the only guitar that I own out of 18 now that I have done nothing to. And I'm going to tell you, I'm happy to not do anything to this. Everything works the way it should. It is impeccable out of the box. There is not one visible blemish or defect on this Firefly guitar. Now, when I pulled off the back, I noted that it was shielded, paint shielding, and it has full-size pots with amazing wiring. Well, that accounts for something, right? And then upon pulling out a pickup, each pickup actually, they're wax potted. Now, this may be the first wax potted Firefly that I have seen. So, to me, they stepped up their game. And my reality of my guitar that I received, well, it was on a whole different level. And then I started looking at the frets, and they have their new fret ends. And the first I've heard of these fret ends was on Guitar Max's channel. And he noted that they have some new process of doing the frets where they're actually like a bald end, and they're smoothest frets I've ever ran my fingers over in my life. I mean, it's amazingly smooth. And then the next thing was the action. This has the lowest action out of any guitar I have ever played with no fret buzz. Even the strings sound good, and the tuners hold. There's no cracks in the finish, and we're going to get to that in a second. There's nothing on this guitar that shouldn't be there, and it is simply outstanding. Now, I had one viewer say that it sounds like shit. Well, it could have been the way I recorded it that day, but no, I assure you, it doesn't sound like shit. It sounds amazing. Well, kind of like an SG should. So why do I talk about this stuff? Because it seems that getting a good one like this now is getting, well, to be a crapshoot. Let me elaborate. I follow a lot of channels, and I have subs who like Firefly guitars, and that's why they sub to me, because they like Firefly guitars. And as do I. Lately, they've been ordering guitars based on, well, this review of this guitar. And they've got in some guitars that, well, weren't up to standards. Not a little cosmetic blemishes here and there, but major defects. Cracks in the finish. All kinds of stuff. Tuners that are all wonky. Weird. Not microphonic feedback, but just strange humming due to bad electronics. And I'm seeing this, I'm even seeing the same guitars, two of the exact same guitars come with different parts. That's right. Dime-size pots on one, full-size pots on another. Different fretwork on one than the other. That is odd. And it makes you feel a little uncomfortable when you're ordering a guitar, even if it is $200 to $260, $70. It makes you feel uncomfortable because it's a crapshoot. We already have to worry about shipping, and, well, how's it going to arrive with the shipping process? So we're hoping that at least the manufacturer has it right when it leaves the plant. Well, things haven't been right lately. And I've watched Wally in the box show his guitar when he unboxed it and see the cracks in the finish. Legit cracks in the finish. And he's expecting a beautiful guitar, and then he plugs it in, and he's getting all kinds of weird noises. You know, at first you write it off and go, okay, it's one, you know, it happens. But then I hear more and more stories, and now I hear Leo and Dan Ryan, and they unbox this beautiful Burleywood SG, and it's beautiful. If you haven't checked out Leo and their channel, you got to go check them out. Fantastic, by the way. Just a real world. Good guys. And they adjusted the truss rod because the action was so high, and it cracked the finish on the neck. Firefly, what in the world did you use for a finish on your neck to crack it like that? There's something off. I have never had a finish crack on a neck from adjusting the truss rod, and I've had to make some major adjustments. So that's a first. So obviously they got something going on in their finishing process that isn't quite right. And what are you using? I don't think that maybe that one's not nitrocellulose. I don't know. Is it poly? What is it? I don't know. This one's obviously nitro. I can tell by the finish it's nitro. But what is that one? I don't know. I can't tell from here. But it's bad news. And some of the responses that they're giving people that have problems are kind of ridiculous. I mean, at first they offered these guys, I think it was $60 off for a busted guitar that's brand new. That's kind of an insult. And my insult was this. On my last purchase, this one, I did a video about it. And then I did a video about, well, how my card got hit again for an international fee. So I contacted Firefly and I said, look, this is the first. Why did my card get hit for an international fee? This is the first time this has ever happened. Because my purchase was made right here in the United States. I didn't buy it overseas. I bought it from a company. And just so you guys are aware, these Firefly guitars ship out from a furniture store in the U.S. It's the same company. It's like their front company that they ship their guitars from. There's even been reports, and you can see this maybe in some of my older comments on some of my videos, where people have received mattress pads instead of a guitar. I shit you not. So I understand mistakes happen. But did Firefly rectify it? Well, that I don't know. Because I know personally, after I think it's about 8 emails I've sent Firefly on different various questions about their products and what have you, I've never once received an answer back. And, well, I do reviews and I build custom stuff. You think that they would reply back? I don't want to bash a company or put a company down. It's not my intention, because I think when their guitars are on, they're on. But man, their game can quickly change from being a company where people will take a chance on them to a company that people won't take a chance on them, based on a few guys on the internet who are going to, well, tell the truth. Now, Leo and Dan, they have said to me that, well, they're going to continue to buy Firefly guitars, and that's great. You have to do what you have to do, and yeah, they've had some good experiences, and I have too. But I'm speaking for the people who haven't had them, and they just didn't have one. Wally didn't have one. There's a few people that I, well, know personally that haven't had good experiences. And a lot of people have had the experience with the bridge rattle, and it seemed that Firefly took care of that for a bit, and were running a certain bridge where they weren't rattling, and then they changed their bridges back to the old style. I don't know. I don't understand the quality control problems or willy-nilly parts that are just thrown here. Put this one on this one, this one on this one. I'll never understand it. I was recently going to purchase 2 more Fireflies. I was going to do the Flying V and the Explorer style. And I was about to pull the trigger, and then I started seeing all these, well, this bad stuff about Firefly. And this is coming off this extraordinary one. And they're not all lying. Nobody's lying. They're being honest, and they're saying what they got. So I have to take that for what it is and make a judgment call. Do I order through Firefly? I got no tie. I got no stakes in it. I don't get anything for free through Firefly. And even if I did, you're going to get an honest review of it. It's not going to be fluffed. It's going to be real. And I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. It's that simple. Now, I've been very lucky with guitars. Knock on wood. Very, very lucky. I've been extremely lucky with brands that you wouldn't think you'd be lucky with. Some of those brands required some major setup. Some things that some people might not know how to do. But I still consider myself lucky because the bones were there and they did sound good. It was nothing that I couldn't correct. But the prices of guitars are starting to go up. We don't want to pay hidden fees that are going to hit us later on, Firefly. And we don't want anything unexpected. We realize that accidents happen. And I'm willing to take a chance on a guitar. Number one, if I know that it's going to have the same parts as the other one that's just like it. And number two, if there is a defect or a problem, you're going to take care of it. The big thing in the end is the customer service. We'll all accept mistakes and problems, but we will never stand for and tolerate not being responded to or just inappropriate actions to a defective product. If you send somebody a defective product and they say, I want my money back, give it back. Take your guitar back. Give them a shipping label, take it back. If they want a replacement, replace it. Don't hem, don't haw. Don't say, hey, we'll give you $60 off. Don't insult, because that's never going to work for any company. And there's some companies that I love, simply love their guitars, but I can't stand the people that run it. And that's a whole different story. And I try not to let that affect my purchase decision, but I do a lot of times. I will not buy something because of what that company stands for or their lack of respect for their employees. And people know what I'm talking about right now. But as far as product goes, I think it's great. I think a lot of guitars are overpriced. I think we live in a time right now where we have super high-priced guitars that are not, where there's no guitar in the world that is worth over $1,000. And that might make you mad, but when you know how they're built and what goes into them, they're simply not. So if you think that, you are delusional. I don't care what year guitar you have, it's a piece of wood with some basic electronics that do really non-magical things. So what the reality is and what you think it is are usually two different things. It's simply not. The price of guitars are astronomical. So when we see guitars, we always said, how do they do it for that price? Well, that's not the magic. Them doing it for that price is not the magic. The magic is the other ones getting into our head and making us pay that for the other ones. Because price in our heads usually makes it better. Well, I paid more. It's got to be better. That is not always true. As a matter of fact, it's getting so more times now, it's not true. A lot of people are finding that out, and that's why they're going to budget guitars. So many people I have talked to in the last few months that have switched over from very expensive name brand guitars to budget guitars. Why? Because, well, Mike, they sound just as good. I don't have to worry about them, and they play fantastic. Guitar is not an investment. You might be a collector. You might think it's an investment. It's not an investment. It's a guitar. And I'm going to leave you with that. And guys, I want to thank you for watching Fulton Street Beats. If you like this video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be talking to you soon. And Firefly, if you're listening, respond, chime in. Let us know what the deal is. Reach out. We all want to hear. We all want to know. Everybody makes mistakes. And it's rock and roll that makes the world go round. Thanks, guys.